immigrant cheerleading squad captain Pelosi refers to deportation of illegal immigrants as an act of utter malice and bigotry. Really, Nancy? Well, it's time for First Thoughts. Starting next week, the president will carry out his promise to protect our nation by prompting ICE to begin the process of removing the millions of illegal aliens who have illicitly found their way into the United States. And guess what happened? The Democrats freaked out, of course. The threat of deporting 1 million of their future voters is a terrifying thought for Democrats. After all, they can't win elections by creating an agenda for the American people, so naturally they would prefer to usher in as many illegals into the shadows as possible. Just look at how furious the thought of enforcing the law made Democratic den mother Nancy Pelosi. She said, "The president's new threat of a mass deportation dragnet is an act of utter malice and bigotry designed solely to inject fear in our communities. The president must walk away from these cruel, ineffective, and discriminatory policies and work with Democrats to support smart, effective immigration reform that honors our values and keeps families together and safe." Wait just a damn minute, Nance. While details of a specific immigration sweep are not yet set in stone, the president's support and ICE-led mass deportation effort focuses on illegals who have been issued final deportation orders by federal judges but have not left and have chosen to remain in this country, wait for it, illegally. Guess what happens when you don't deport people who are supposed to be deported? That's the story of Jared Vargas, whose family I met a few months back in San Antonio. Their son murdered by an illegal who had been served a deportation notice and did not leave. What do you think of that, Nancy? He was murdered and burned in his apartment. Sounds pretty inhumane and cruel, huh? So tell me, Nance, how the hell is deporting people who have been issued official deportation orders cruel, ineffective, bigoted, malicious, or discriminatory? If you ask me, busting into our country illegally, then remaining here illegally is an act of malice, disrespect, and truly against our American values. How about that? Our nation had over 100,000 apprehensions last month, so hell yes, we should be removing illegals as fast as they come in. That's a no-brainer. Oh, and what really kills me is that Nancy and friends are trying to trick us into thinking Democrats are willing to work with the president on immigration reform. Sorry, the BS flag is waving. Are you kidding me? The president had to partially shut down the government because you wouldn't work with him. The president then had to declare a national emergency and then reallocate funds to border enforcement and security because you wouldn't work with him. You really expect the American people to believe that now you're working with him to secure the border in good faith? Do you think we were born yesterday, Nancy? Give me a break. This week, Democrats and Republicans, plus the Republicans in name only rhinos who also couldn't care less about border security, will work together on an immigration crisis compromise deal. If you'll recall, President Trump requested $4.5 billion in emergency funding, and yes, this border invasion is an emergency. Of that $4.5 billion, $3.3 billion is allotted for humanitarian aid, which the Democrats are, no shock, okay with. But same as last go-around, the Democrats don't want to fund more beds in detention centers and object to the requested $1.1 billion for use on those detention beds, border operations, and investigation resources. Wait, they don't want more beds for their precious illegals? Doesn't make sense, does it? Unless you realize more beds in detention centers means more illegals will remain in detention facilities instead of disappearing into the United States, likely to never be seen again by immigration officials. So let's spell this out. No more funding to enforce the law, but Democrats are A-OK with ensuring illegals have recreational, educational, and legal services? If that doesn't make your blood boil, you might not have a pulse because it sends mine through the roof. President Trump, ignore them. Do what you need to do, and if that means deporting illegals who shouldn't be here in the first place and have already been given notice to leave, by all means, go for it. Those are my first thoughts from LA. God bless, and take care.